there's a lot on my plate and I'm not enjoying what I should be enjoying. I should be super grateful for the opportunity to be able to go away. I should be super grateful for the opportunity to be able to travel for work. And I can't get on board with it right now. And I'm just kind of mentally stuck. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are doing all right. It's another week that I'm joining you guys on the midweek version of the Modern Craftsman. I actually just got back this morning, or I guess it was this afternoon, from Indianapolis. I was out there for the Festool Recharged event. So thank you to them for having me out there. Doug joined me. Ken DeCoste from Materia joined us. So it was good to see them. We actually, if you guys didn't see that on our stories, but we set up in the hotel room and recorded a standard episode of Modern Craftsman podcast. So I think we've had Ken on before. That'd be the second time. Um, Interviewed him in the hotel room. It was fun. It was good. I met Ken numerous times. Generally, it's in passing. We've spent some time together. Never really one on one with him, but I it was interesting to see who he was. What his background was. How he ended up doing what he's doing in the cabinet shop and his path toward that. And we talk about his hobbies, his interests, about his Hive notebook, that he put out. So it was a good conversation. It was fun. It was good to see Doug. It was good to see Ken. It was good to see the Festool people. I ran into Casey Nips out there. He has some exciting news about what he's doing shortly. He's starting his own business. Hopefully, I'm not the one dropping that on you. I'm pretty sure that's public knowledge. I'll check with him before airing this, but I'm pretty sure that's public knowledge. But if you guys aren't following him, he's a great follow. Amazing carpenter, very thorough, true professional, and it was good to see him. I always like seeing Casey. So I had a good time. It was a very quick trip. I flew in Tuesday. Tuesday night event was Wednesday, and flew home this morning. So it was a very quick trip. I'm a little bit tired. I think I might be sick still. I sound very congested. Sometimes that just happens when I'm flying, and hotel air quality, plane air quality, allergies, terrible lungs. I don't feel 100% right now, but I'm hoping it's just a little bit of traveling that is creating this with whatever the heck is going on inside my body right now. So let's dig into this week's blog post, podcast, and see what I'm thinking. The podcast this week, I had something else that I wanted to record, and then I got home and I felt very stressed. And the plane ride home, I felt very stressed. Being away, I felt very stressed. A lot of anxiety, and I just wanted to kind of get down on paper what I was feeling, and hopefully it would resolve and assuage some of those feelings that are kind of running through my head and my body right now. Maybe it worked a little. I don't think I'm quite there. I'm not fixed, but that was my intent with this blog post, just to tell you guys how I'm feeling, and then hopefully enlist some of your help as to what works for you guys and girls. And if this is something that you experience in your life, and a little bit of background as to what's going on. I'm going on vacation next week for a week with my kids, my wife, my dad, and my stepmom. So it's a very special vacation. It's just family. It should be really nice. We should be able to disconnect and really not have a ton of external stimulation. So it's an opportunity to spend time with my family without the chaos of life and all the distractions that comes along with life. But the issue I have there is that I'm going on vacation and I'm not going to be able to work. And I just traveled this week. I'm going to be traveling next week. I am traveling for personal reasons in March and also business reasons in March. I currently am in the middle of a basement renovation for an existing customer, return customer that I've worked for probably over the past 7 years or so at two different homes. And I'm at the stage of the project where subs are there, inspections, and a lot of times when I'm traveling or I'm going away, I'll coordinate and schedule jobs so that the job is closed out or I'm at a point where work can still get done when I'm not there, and it just didn't work out. My intent was the electrician's there today, the electrician's there tomorrow. The plumber's already been there, meeting with the HVAC sub and the insulator I met with already. So my goal was on Monday before I leave to get my inspections. For some reason, the township is closed Monday. So my goal was to get the inspections done Monday. I'm leaving Tuesday, be able to get the insulators in there. And at that point, I would have already met with the inspectors to go through rough frame, electrical, plumbing, discuss the insulation package with them. And excuse me, be fairly confident that even though I was not there for insulation inspection, that it wouldn't be an issue getting them in the house, insulation inspection done, and then drywall can commence so that when I get back, it's right back to work. So the township's not open on Monday, so I can't get my inspections. I'm not comfortable having inspectors there for these major inspections while I'm on vacation. And I don't think that's the customer's responsibility to do that. That's on me. I was going to push things through with the insulation inspection because I would have already met with the building inspector, plumbing and electrical, fire, and been through all that and discussed with them that I wouldn't be there for the insulation inspection. But that didn't work out, much to my dismay. So I can't get an inspection until I get back from vacation. So now I get back from vacation, I can schedule my rough inspections. I have the insulator scheduled, I have my insulation scheduled, insulation inspection scheduled, and I have my drywaller scheduled, but that really hangs me up a week and a half. And I was expecting to get a lot of that done while I was gone. And even as I'm sitting here telling you this story, it's frustrating the fuck out of me, and really stressing me out. So maybe this wasn't a good idea to just keep rubbing this in. I'm very annoyed with it. And it's nobody's fault. It's just that I pushed through things to make this happen, and kind of keep things moving while I was away and be comfortable with that happening. And it's not going to happen. And it's just going to hang me up as far as schedule goes. So, juggling all of that stuff and just the job not lining up as I wanted it to, and feeling as though I'm losing time being away, and I'm going to have to come home and really not have a ton of work for myself at this job for a week and a half. And I have other stuff that I can bounce to and do, but that's just not in my head as I saw this happening. And it's frustrating me, for many reasons, for not being able to button the job up, for bumping everything, for not feeling as though I'm through my rough inspections when I go away, that things are good, and just being able to kind of sign off and disconnect and spend time with my family. Now this is kind of hanging all over my head. So I'm stressed about that. I'm stressed about going away. It's always difficult to go away, to not be able to get work done, to kind of plan for everything. And it's, if you own your, excuse me, I just had a shake with, it was a big shake, with kale and acai powder and, let's see, chia seeds and simple greens, carrots, celery. I think I said kale, some protein powder, because I was away and I feel sick, and I like to have shakes like that every day. And I just had one, and I'm very full and have burps. So if you hear me talk funny, that's why. Um, Back to your regularly scheduled program. But I'd like to just be able to go away and not worry about work and everything else. But it's not going to happen. And I'm not going to get done what I want to. And I just can't get over that. And I'm sure that other people can relate to that. If you own a business, it's hard to disconnect. It's nice to have things set up so that when you go away, it feels like you're accomplishing something, or you actually are accomplishing something. And I just don't feel that way right now. The other thing that's on my mind is I traveled for work this week a couple of days, and it wasn't a big deal because I got everything I needed to done on the job, and my electrician was there a couple days this week, and they'll be there tomorrow. So it's not like I have anything to do there anyway, but I didn't do anything else for work. I wasn't home. I wasn't contributing to my household. So there's that stress. And just traveling sometimes wreaks havoc on my mind and my body. I have this vacation coming up. And then when I get home, I have a little bit of uh, juggling with this job and then bumping to some other jobs so I can get some stuff done and make some money. And then I'm traveling at the end of March for another work trip. And also, my dad got both of his knees replaced, and he knows that he doesn't have many years left of skiing. And we skied a fair amount when I was in college and a little bit older. And he asked me if I wanted to go skiing with him. So he's taking me away to Whistler, British Columbia to go skiing, which I should be super pumped about. But with everything else that's going on, um, I'm supposed to be getting a vasectomy March 7th, and that would put me down for the count for a little bit of time. Realistically, I'd probably be back at work the next day, but I should I should be taking it a little bit easy, and I just feel as though I can. And I honestly think I'm probably going to bump that and reschedule it for a couple reasons other than just what's going on right now. But it just makes the most amount of sense to be my 100% self throughout March for a few reasons. But that's kind of what's on my mind, and it's stressing me the hell out, and it's creating a lot of anxiety for me. And I, a lot of times when I'm anxious and I feel fulfilled, I feel that I'm accomplishing a lot in my life. It helps quell that anxiety. If I get a good work day in, if I get a solid workout in, if I feel strong, if I feel healthy, if I ride my dirt bike, a lot of times that offsets and helps, excuse me, shake burp, manage that anxiety for me. And none of that's happening right now. I don't feel great physically. I don't feel great mentally. So I'm just kind of struggling getting through this. And I guess the biggest issue I have there is I can sit and I can complain about that, and I can fuss about it and say, poor me, when realistically I'm bitching up about having two vacations in 2 months. And that's a luxury, that's a privilege. But it's really just stressing me out, and it shouldn't be. And I should be able to completely detach from what's going on in my life and with work and enjoy the time with my family. And I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to. And this is nobody's fault but my own. This is something that I've struggled with my entire life, and just how I react to life and how I manage anxiety. And I don't do a great job at it. A lot of time I create distractions, or I'll work more, or I'll go for a run, or I'll ride my dirt bike. And it to me, that's somewhat of a band-aid, and it helps and it works. But I think that there's better ways that I could try and manage this. I don't think that I don't think I do a poor job of it. I'm relatively healthy. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke. I do drink coffee, as you guys know, but I've cut a lot of those things out of my life to try and be able to manage this in a more productive manner. And it's been better, and I don't deal with this a lot, but right now, with all of this coming to a head, and you know I have this job, I have little jobs for return customers that I have to get to, I have a larger for myself job coming up in May that I'm supposed to start, and I have this surgery, I have some stuff going on in our own personal lives, and I just feel like there's a lot on my plate and I'm not enjoying what I should be enjoying. I should be super grateful for the opportunity to be able to go away not only once, but twice. I should be super grateful for the opportunity to be able to travel for work. And I can't get on board with it right now. And I'm just kind of mentally stuck. And I'm sure that some of you guys and girls can relate to this. And part of this podcast was to try and get this down on paper or talk about it and work through what I'm feeling to try and come to terms with this and make some peace with everything that's going on in my head right now and everything that's going on in my life. And I think that I wanted to reach out to you guys and girls and get some input as far as what you do to help manage your feelings, manage anxiety, manage stress when you're in a situation like I'm in right now. And there's people in far worse situations, and there's people who aren't as in who are in, great situations. And that doesn't necessarily dictate the level of anxiety if you understand anxiety. It's all about how you control it and how you feel. And just because it's a big deal to me, you may look at me and say that's absolutely silly. There's things that stress me out and create anxiety in my life that my wife laughs at me because she just tells me that's nothing that you should be upset about, and it upsets me. And at 37 years later, I still haven't got it licked, and I'm better, but I'm not quite there. I can remember growing up, and I just spoke with Doug and Nick about this, that my mom always used to tell me not to make mountains out of molehills, meaning don't make something a bigger deal than it really is. See it for what it is, address it, and then accept it. And at that point, give it up, and let go of it. And I've just never been good at that. And I think that I have improved, but I'm not great at it. So right now, the way that I manage that, again, is by working a little bit more, feeling accomplished, feeling as though I got something done, trying to eat a little bit better, exercising. If I go out and I feel strong because I exercised or I had a good exercise, um, that helps me feel better mentally and physically, and I am able to detach a little bit. Obviously, riding my dirt bike, I can't really do much but be in the moment right there and kind of get in this flow state, in this zone that really makes me feel better. It's a physical workout. I'm out in the woods, but I don't have an opportunity to do that stuff right now. A little bit. I've been trying to work out a little bit more, but I can't get out of my own head. I can't get out of my own way. And I don't want to ruin this vacation. So I would love to hear from you guys and girls, whether you reach out to me reposting the clips from this blog post or this podcast with what you do, creating a post on your own Instagram feed and tagging myself and the Modern Craftsman. I think that would actually be, excuse me, a pretty good option, because I would like, I mean, you can email me as well if you're uncomfortable expressing yourself or putting this out there on a public forum, but just kind of how you deal with the stressors of life and how you deal with the stressors of business. And I know that I'll get through this, and I know I'll get past this, and everything's going to be fine. But right now, it seems very heavy, and it seems insurmountable to me that I'm not going to be able to get past this. And it's just how I'm feeling today. And it's a culmination of everything in my life and being away. But that's just how I feel. And I would love if you guys could email me or send me a DM, or like I said, get a post up on Instagram and tag me, tag the Modern Craftsman in it, so I can see how you guys manage this aspect of your life when you feel it's tough to climb out of where you are, and that things just aren't going the way that you are, and you try and push a little harder, and you just lack that control. That's where I really struggle. I listened to a podcast not that long ago, and I guess I've never really tried to put into words or articulate what anxiety is like for me, or what creates that anxiety. And this guy put it very simply that the bulk of his anxiety comes from not being able to control a situation, or not being able to control something within his life. And when that happens, his anxiety flares up, and it can become crippling. And holy shit, can I relate to that? Because generally, my anxiety is the worst when I try and control everything and it's uncontrollable. I put everything into place and I line up all the pieces so that everything can go, and then something gets out of whack, and outside of my control, my plan gets fucked up. And that's when my anxiety is the worst, when I don't have complete control over the situation. And I'm so envious of people who can essentially concede to not having control of things and just saying, you know what, this is the cards I was dealt right now. I did everything that I could do, and I'm just like, I can't do anything about it right now. That's it. I did my best, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Let the pieces fall and kind of lie where they're going to. And I'm not that type of person. And I'm super envious of people who are able to do that, because for me, it kind of makes it worse. And then I try and manage it more. I try and implement different things or different paths to get to where I want to be. And a lot of times it's just these futile attempts that get me even more frustrated and create more anxiety in my life. But that was listening to how simply put this guy said that his anxiety, it's like a situation where you want and you're trying to control it, and you just don't have control over it. Um, and for me, that hits the nail on the head. There's not really a worse feeling for me. And that's something that I can work on, and I've tried to work on, but I'm just not there yet. So I would love to hear any insight that you guys have. I have my own means and methods for getting past this and working on this, but I don't have it licked. And right now, my biggest focus is that I want to be able to enjoy going away. I want to be able to enjoy getting on a plane, going away with my family, detaching, disconnecting, and just be present. Because when I look back at my life, and if it's a year from now, if it's 2 years from now, if it's 40 years from now, these are the things that are important. Me not getting an inspection is not fucking important. Like, it's not in the grand scheme of life. It's just not important. But it's really hard for me to see that in the present situation. All of these things that I find a nuisance right now, they're massive opportunities in my life that I'm choosing to take a stance and create a vantage point that's somewhat negative, right? That I have to travel for work, that I have to go skiing in Whistler. These things are amazing opportunities that I haven't had in my life, and I don't know if I'll have again. With my dad, with traveling out there, with being able to take off from work, with being able to travel without my wife and my kids. And I'm choosing this vantage point that's more of a negative vantage point. And I think that I need to shift my perspective to something more positive and appreciate what's going on, and find ways to let go of the situation that I'm in and realize that my life isn't just work and that it's not going to be perfect and that I don't have control over everything and that the township being closed on a Monday is, it's not the end of the world, and it in 5 years it really just doesn't matter to me. And I remember my mom telling me this as a little kid, and I have the conversation with my oldest now because she gets upset and she puts her heart into a lot of things and she gets upset and bent out of shape about shit that just doesn't matter. And I when I talk to her, it's so relatable for me because I distinctly remember my mom sitting me down and saying, like, you're pissed right now. Absolutely a mess because you got a 96 on your test, because you got one wrong and you could have got 100. And the fact that you're upset about that, like, it just doesn't matter. Even if you got even if you fail that test, it just doesn't matter. You can make a change, you can make an adjustment, you can get better grades. But if you don't, you're gonna get through this grade, you're gonna graduate from high school, you're going to become an adult in the world and a contributing member of society. And when you're 70 or when you're laying on your deathbed, you're not going to look back and say, you know what? I wish I didn't get a 96 or a 97 on that test. Like, that's my biggest regret. And I have this conversation with Selby because she'll get bombed about something or feeling as though she's slow at schoolwork and people get done before her, or it takes her extra effort, and she compares herself and she just gets really bent out of shape about it. And I have the same conversation with her when she's, 2 years from now, when she's in sixth grade, she's not going to remember this. When she's walking down the aisle of her wedding, this isn't going to matter. When she is welcoming her first child into the world, this isn't going to matter. And I need to take heed of my own words, because when my mom used to tell me that, it didn't matter. Like, I didn't hear it. It didn't make sense. I was so stuck in the moment and kind of um I have a note here to stop saying kind of, and I still said kind of. I Another thing that my mom used to say is she's not mentally masturbate about what's going on in your life. And essentially meaning that when I have an issue or something's bothering me, the term mental masturbation would be to sit there and just like run it through your head over and over and over and just keep wading in the shit. And there's just no need for it. There's no use, there's no value, there's no benefit of doing that. But that's something that I've done my entire life. And she's like, you need to stop mentally masturbating about what you're upset about and move forward and focus on something positive and focus on something that's within your control and just move forward. Let it go. It happened. It's done. Who gives a shit? And it's really hard to do that for me. And I recall my mom having those conversations with me and not making much progress. And I'm in that situation right now, 25, 30 years later, having the same feelings. And they're few and far between now. But I still, it's something that I struggle with. And it's something that I see my kids struggle with. And thank God my wife is not like that. She has the ability to walk away from something that's bothering her, give up on something that's bothering her, saying, you know what? I just can't do it. Like, I can't figure out this Wordle, so I'm just going to step away from it, where I don't even attempt Wordle, because if I can't figure it out, it's going to piss me off and ruin my day, and then I'm going to be angry about it. So I choose to not engage in that type of stuff. So I have to manage it. And I would like to know how you guys manage it. So if it's via email or you want to get a post up and tag me in it, just what you do on a daily basis to help you maintain that positive attitude, be okay with just being okay, and dealing with when life doesn't go according to plan and you can't get that inspection when you want to, and you have to check out and go on vacation and leave work behind. how are you managing that? How are you accomplishing that? And being able to be present in the moment and just enjoy life, because that's something that I struggle with a lot. So I would love to hear what you guys and girls have to say about this. And the writing of this blog post helped a little bit. The beginning of this podcast recording got me a little bit pissed off, thinking about what is kind of running through my head right now. But right now, saying this all out loud and running through this and creating some perspective and seeing what really is important, and that I don't have it that bad, and what I'm upset about and what I'm frustrated about really isn't that important, and next year it's not going to matter, and when my daughter is walking down the aisle, it's not going to matter, and that the fact that I'm kind of ruminating in this right now it's by my own accord, and it's by my own doing, and there's nobody to point a finger at or to blame to me. I'm fully at my own mercy, and I'm the only one who can say, you know what, I'm gonna pull up my big boy pants, and I'm gonna strap my shoes on, and I'm gonna walk myself out of this situation, and I'm just gonna be okay, and I'm gonna do what I can do and control what I can control. And sometimes I just have an inability to do that, and it takes a little bit of time. But talking this through with you guys, even though you're not physically here right now, has helped me, and I feel better than I did this afternoon. I feel better than I did when I was on my flight home. So that's some progress, and that's a step in the right direction. But hopefully you guys, this is something, I guess hopefully, not hopefully, but I'm sure that this is something that you can relate to, and potentially if you need someone to commiserate, rest assured that you can commiserate with me on this right now, and probably many times in the near future, and sure as hell a lot of times in the past. But if there is a situation or an opportunity where you feel as though you are kind of in this rut and you don't see a way out of this, definitely reach out to me. I can do what I can do to help. I'm not the best at responding to DMs on social media. So if it's something that's truly important, you can find my contact information relatively easily: email, cell phone, whatever it may be. Reach out, and I can do my best to lend a hand. But I'm also asking you guys for a little bit of a hand here to give me some insight into your world and what helps you. And hopefully that's something that I can try and integrate into my own life. That was the point of this podcast this week. Just wasn't feeling too hot. Traveling, a little bit of stress, things not going according to plan, not being able to control every aspect of my life, which to some of you may laugh and be like, that's just nothing to be upset about. But that's me. That's what does upset me. That's what frustrates me and creates a lot of anxiety and angst within my life. So to those who can relate, I'm sure that you can attest to how I feel and how heavy it feels at time. But I appreciate you guys hopping on board, listening. Hopefully my week looks up from here, heading in towards the weekend. Hopefully you guys are having a good Wednesday, getting through the bulk of the week. You got Thursday, Friday left. Spend some family time, do some things that you want to do aside from work. I will be out of town next week. I'm going to try and get another podcast recorded so that we can not have to miss a week while I'm away. So I'll be getting back into town right before the following week's podcast is going to drop. So I'm hoping to get something out this weekend, so that we're really not skipping a beat and we're keeping up with this. And I've seen a lot of response to this online, and I appreciate it so much. A lot of people, it's speaking to you. It's something that I have enjoyed. It's helping me immensely. It's rounding out my skill set as far as the podcasting platform and being able to speak and being comfortable in front of a camera. So it's been big for me. It's been good for me, establishing some self-confidence in what I'm doing and trying to hone my skills in a facet of my life that wasn't necessarily my strongest suit. So I appreciate all the support, all the reposts, all the love. Continue to spread the word for me. We appreciate it. Check out our sponsors, check out our partners, endorse them, patronize their businesses. A lot being able to carve aside this time is so much because of them. We have Rockwell, we have Anderson, we have Builder Trend, and without these partners, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. So if you can patronize their businesses, check them out, give them some love, hop online, give us a review, listen to the standard podcast that comes out on Mondays, check out the website that's coming out shortly, go online, share everything. It's really important to me. It's really important to us. And that's why we end up doing what we're doing. But thank you so much for all the support recently. Again, I hope you guys have had a good week to this point. It's Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys are wrapping up this week and heading into the weekend and going to be able to enjoy yourselves and remain positive there. So, thank you again, and I will catch you guys next week.